measles on the march. It is now in 14 states and has health officials in Arizona on high alert. They are trying to track down anyone who may have been exposed to the virus before the Super Bowl on Sunday. Hello everyone, I'm Elizabeth Hurd in New York, and some of the blame is being put on the parents who refuse to vaccinate their children. Let's get the very latest from ABC's Marcy Gonzalez.
Concern growing across the country, with more than 80 cases of measles across more than a dozen states. Health officials warn this is a critical point in this outbreak.
A big thing with measles is that it's extremely contagious.
Experts believe this outbreak began last month after an unvaccinated family was infected at Disneyland. Then a woman exposed to them contracted it. And because measles is spread through the air, doctors worry she may have exposed nearly 200 children to the virus when she visited a clinic near Phoenix. Health officials say 1,000 adults in the area are also being monitored.
What they're being told is to watch for signs and symptoms of measles.
And with Super Bowl fans heading to the big game in Phoenix this weekend, medical students will be out looking for anyone with measles-like symptoms, which include fever, cough, runny nose, pink eye, and rash. This outbreak is reigniting the debate over vaccinations and the choice more parents are making to not immunize their children.
There's also many risks if they get the vaccine versus getting an illness that they could actually recover from. It's a personal decision, I understand, but you have to look at the greater good as well.
And now in Phoenix and across the country, doctors are telling anyone potentially exposed to the virus and not vaccinated to stay away from public places for 21 days. Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, New York.
And let's bring in ABC News Chief Health and Medical Editor, Dr. Richard Besser. Thank you so much for joining us. And, let's talk about Super Bowl. I mean, that's all the buzz right now, and Arizona being one of the affected states. How concerned should we be about the spread?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand why people are concerned. You have all these thousands of people coming together for this event, but the risk is really incredibly low for people attending the Super Bowl for a number of reasons. The first is we have 84 cases of measles across the country. That's across the entire country. In Arizona, there have been 7 cases, but most of them were in one family. So the likelihood of someone going to the Super Bowl and running into someone who has measles is very, very small. When you have measles, you really feel terrible. So I doubt that someone who's sick, who has one of those precious Super Bowl tickets, is even going to make the trudge over to that game to watch it. And if you're attending the game, if you were born before 1957, you're immune. You had measles, you don't have to worry about that. And if you got your vaccine, you're protected. So those going to the game, I think, can relax.
And you've been quite active on Twitter. I mean, I'm sure you've been answering a lot of questions. Let's actually read some of the tweets that you have received. First, from Rick Lerner. Both of my kids were immunized when they were young. They are both in their 20s now. Are they at risk?
So if they were fully vaccinated when they were young, they're protected. We now give children 2 doses of the measles vaccine, the first between 12 months and 15 months, and then the second before they enter school at the age 4 to 6. After the first dose, 95% of people are fully protected. After the second dose, that goes all the way up to 99%. Measles is probably the most contagious virus we know of, but this is also one of the best, most effective vaccines we have.
Wow. And also you wrote on Twitter, according to the CDC, 19 states allow parents to opt out for philosophical objections to vaccines, and that this is a problem, but Terry is asking, can't vaccinated people give the disease to each other anyway? Is the herd really affected by the small percentage of the unvaccinated people?
Yeah, I mean, actually, if you can only transmit this disease to somebody else if you're infected and you have the disease. So vaccinated people do not transmit the disease to others unless they are one of the 1% of people who get the infection and can spread it to others. I'm very concerned about